Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth from Alpus Astrology at alpusastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. This is your January 2020 video. This is just going to be a synopsis of what's going on in January 2020, but I'm going to do another video, which will be an extended video. It'll be free too, but it's going to go into a lot more detail. Plus I'll go into all the astrological signs as well by ascendant. And in particular, look at the house that this big Saturn Pluto conjunction is going to be happening in, and that's around 22 degrees of Capricorn that we're talking about in your natal chart. But I'll do that in a lot more detail in my next video. And I'll timestamp everything so that you can go back and listen to it again and again, should you like to. All right, so we start off the month of 2020 with Mercury now in Capricorn, bringing that message of the eclipse that we had, that new moon eclipse that we had in Capricorn on the 25th, 26th of December. And it definitely plays a role as the messenger. So collectively, this could be information about changes in our structures, our government, any institutions, big business, banks, right? All those collectively, there could be some kind of big message. I think it might have to do with wealth of some sort, hopefully a better distribution of wealth. For our personal structures, we could be looking at announcements that we make about changes, especially in our relationships, our jobs, our home, where we live, that type of thing. Now we've got Jupiter that is in Capricorn for the next year. And so this kind of is a situation where we have rewards, that's Jupiter, for hard work, and that's Saturn. So it's time for that, and time is also about Saturn too. But the other thing is that last year when we had Jupiter in Sagittarius, we had great dreams, inspirations, we could see the future ahead for ourselves. With now having Jupiter going into Capricorn, we're being asked to take those dreams and visions that we have and make it real, that it's time for that too. And we've got a whole year to do it. And we'll get lots of opportunities, so don't worry about that. We've got this Jupiter going to be conjuncting Saturn and Pluto on and off as well throughout 2020. So let's get into this whole big event of 2020, in particular January, where we do have Saturn conjuncting Pluto. But don't forget that we have the moon, which is going to be opposite this, and the sun very quickly going to be conjuncting this too. We have Mercury in the mix as well, and asteroid Ceres. Asteroid Ceres talks about our crops, our land, Mother Earth. So something regarding our Earth could be earth-shattering around this time. Now, when we think about types of things, we could be talking about, say, an earthquake or something like that, maybe an eruption of some sort. Because with Pluto involved here, it wants to transform something, a structure. And a structure, of course, could be something like a volcano too, like a mountain, right? Okay. But certainly in our personal lives, we may not have something happen exactly at this time. In fact, the thing that could have happened would have been maybe in December at the new moon eclipse. But this does herald a time of big change for all of us, no matter what sign you are. Look to where 22 degrees of Capricorn is in your chart. And if you feel inclined, put a comment in and let us know maybe what it conjuncts in your chart, or if it's an opposition, or if it sits on an angle like an ascendant. That would all be important. We're not all going to have earth-shaking things happen to us, but we are all going to be asked to transform some aspect of our life. And where this 22 degrees of Capricorn is will signal the area of your life. And as I said, I'll give you an extended video for each of the signs later on. And you'll be able to see what area of your life. But feel free to leave comments. I always love to hear from you. So I would say the other thing collectively could be that those in power are going to be issuing edicts to hold on to their power. And this is just going to fuel further protests and, outrage around the world. So the change that's going to happen in these countries, that has to happen in these countries, we're not necessarily going to be seeing that in January, but we will see the change happening in these countries and governments over 2020 and beyond. So with Jupiter in the mix here too, with Pluto and Saturn, I would say this is not a year to tussle with the law, because we've got two aspects of law here. We've got Jupiter and Saturn, and then Capricorn too. Or the other thing, when we got Pluto in that mix, try not to be obsessive and possessive and cling onto things that are leaving our life. Let them go, as difficult as it is. Maybe some relationships that we've had for 20 some years are just reaching their sell-by date, maybe for both parties, and it just needs to move on. Or maybe that relationship has to transform, and it could be a friendship or a business partnership that has to transform, where there's a more even distribution of maybe work or effort. Right. Now, when we look at the two signs that are most directly affected by this Saturn-Pluto-Jupiter conjunction on and off for 2020, we're looking specifically at two signs for sure. But like I said, we're all going to be affected to some extent. And the two signs are Capricorn, obviously, and then we look at the opposite sign, which is Cancer. And if we want to get down to the nitty-gritty of the actual birthdays that we're looking at, because it's 22 degrees, for Capricorn, specifically, we're looking at the 11th to the 16th of Jan birthdays. And for Cancer, we're looking at the 12th to the 18th of July for your birthdays. So we end the month around the 24th of January with a lovely new moon, which is going to be in Aquarius at 4 degrees. It'll be at 1:42 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, the ruler of this new moon, Aquarius, is Uranus. And yep, Uranus is in the mix again. So we have, a square to Uranus happening at this new moon, because we have this Uranus is in Taurus. Okay, so the other things that are happening is that Venus will do two things as well at this new moon in Aquarius. Venus will square Mars, but it'll also sextile Jupiter. So I saw this as probably the collective, a humanitarian crisis of some sort, but for us individually, this could be very liberating for us. With that sextile to Jupiter, we're being given sort of like good luck opportunities or a smooth transition, where the square with Venus and Mars speaks to, I think, two things. Relationships for sure, but it could also be money. So although it's a square and it can provide some tension for you, because we've got that sextile with Jupiter, you could be let off the hook with regards to maybe some, awkward situation with regards to your money and or a relationship. Now, this could be a love relationship as well as a partnership, friendship type thing. But it is going to liberate you. So look for some kind of liberation around some kind of relationship at this new moon at 4 degrees of Aquarius on the 24th of Jan. For sure, this is going to be a new start for Aquarius, but it may require you to make some changes with relationships and or money. And with this Uranus square here, there could be the cry of rebellion, both collectively and individually. And I forgot to mention that back at that, the 11th of January at that eclipse, the lunar eclipse in Cancer, that same day, we also have Uranus stationing direct at 2 degrees. So this is another significant thing. I think this eclipse in Cancer, if you've got anything around the 20-degree Cancer mark, you could have some significant happenings this year for you, not just in January. All right, I'm just going to end this video with Rumi is one of my favorite poets, but I really love this one statement that he made. This is the subtle truth. Whatever you love, you are. So this is the subtle truth. Whatever you love, you are. I put a donate link on my website, and I've put a link to that below. Should you like these videos and you want to see more, just let me know and I would be delighted to do that. Thanks for joining me today and all the best for 2020. You're going to be seeing me at least a couple times a month, and I look forward to sharing more times with you. Leave me comments. I'd love to hear from you. Take good care of yourself. Don't forget to breathe, and don't forget to do your meditations. Bye for now. I'll talk to you soon.